Hey guys, Cell here, and welcome back to some more Fate Grand Order. Now, there's an event going on, and I figured I would do the one ticket for him, but I didn't know Nikola Tesla was going to be happening the same day. One ticket. Will I get a 5-star archer? No, I will not. But I will at least get a 4-star craft essence of Teacher and me. God dang it. I didn't really want him. But hey, we at least got Tricky Cloth, so that's one craft essence for the event. Moving on. I don't really care about getting Moriarty. But this event's been going on for I think the past 3 days now. There's 4 days left, I haven't even started it. I have no clue what this actually is, so Section 1, A Little City's Tiny War. No clue how long this is gonna be, but it should be fine, right? Let's bring you. King Proteus swap out with Ishtar. Ogato Odata swap out with Squirtoria. Now, I need Musashi to swap out to. Where's Chloe at? This is my level 80 Chloe, right? Yeah. Good to know. And pop on this event craft essence. That's all we got for this event. That's all we're gonna have. Let's go. Last time I think I tried to do his voice was quite a while ago. So is this the opposite of what... Is this the James Moriarty version of Sherlock Holmes's event? Everyone has regrets. If it only could be like this. If only I'd done that. Nobody makes it through life without having such thoughts at least once. Given that failure is an inevitable part of life, there is no sense dwelling on it. But of course, well we do, don't we? Yours truly is no exception. So far today, I would like to spin you a story of regret. It's all well and good to have regrets, but if you try to rid yourself of them, there will be hell to pay like you cannot even begin to fathom. That's the sort of comical fable I have in mind for us today. Ah, this does bring back memories, doesn't it, Master? That's right, it's me, James Moriarty, everyone's favorite old man from an alternate dimension. Huh, you want me to take this more seriously? Alright, if you insist. My name's James Moriarty. I am also known variously as the Napoleon of crime and the Old Spider. And now, I am your servant. No, you're not. So now that that's out of the way, you are officially invited on a fun little pleasure trip. Don't worry, the risk of losing your life is almost completely negligible. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy this stroll down Regret Lane. Okay. But no, seriously, is this legitimately sort of like the event we had for Sherlock Holmes? But it's James Moriarty's version of it? James Moriarty? Oh, Sieg! Okay. Diarmuid? Alexander. Yuanxing. Prince of Longling. Okada Izo. Vlad III. What the heck? Oh yeah, he gets a costume in this event. Doesn't do me any good, seeing as how I don't have him. Did I just get forcefully race shifted again? Looks like it. What is this place? Good morning. Not so loud. Oh, I do beg your pardon. Hello and good day. I'm glad to see you in good health, Cell. I can see, though, that you are wondering where you are. I'll come right to the point then. We are lost in this race shift, you and I. We have no way to ask for help, and nor any means to receive it. That is to say, we are now on a stealth mission, and all weapons and equipment must be procured on site. Where have I heard this before? Indeed, we now face the same harsh circumstances as MI6. Covert operative, I've heard of a wholesale delegation, but this is ridiculous. But worry not, Master. I know this world, and I recognize the time period in which we find ourselves. In fact, I believe that is why I am the one who is here with you. So we're here because of you, Professor. So we're here because of you, Grandpa. Oh, Ji-chan. Wakase. Well, I suppose you could say that. Alright, allow me to explain. We are currently in a mansion found in a certain European city. It is the late 19th century, though without a newspaper I cannot be certain of the date. Our cover story is that you and I are bartenders employed at this mansion. Are you with me so far? That explains his outfits. And may I say, they suit us rather well. Now then, here's the problem we face. On second thought, perhaps it would be better if you see for yourself. Let's leave the bar for the moment and take a stroll around the mansion itself. Oh, and as a rule of thumb, I would strongly advise you to keep your voice low and not to speak to anyone. Wait, when a mansion, we're James Moriarty. Is there gonna be another murder? Is this really legitimately just his side of a different kind of case? At least for now. There's definitely gonna be a murder. Whoa, this place is fancy. Yes, this mansion's owner is something of a local legend. He effectively runs this entire city. And just look around, he must be at the center of any number of deplorably immoral and, dare I say, criminal acts to afford such luxury. Hey now, Mr. Moriarty. I can't speak for my ancestors, but I certainly have no recollection of being involved in anything of the sort. Hey, Sieg! This is the mansion's owner? This is not the Sieg you know from Chaldea. Make sure you speak to him as though he were a complete stranger. Well, if I'm working at his mansion, shouldn't I technically call him Master or something of the sort? Wouldn't that make more sense if I'm working for him? Sal, this is our employer, Sieg. Nice to meet you, Sal. I'm afraid you won't have much time to get your feet wet. Things are about to get very busy around here. Make sure that you treat all of our guests with the respect they deserve. Whatever you do, do not speak to them as though you are on friendly terms or familiar terms. As long as you remember that, you're free to handle your responsibilities however you see fit. Oh, and Mr. Moriarty, I'm counting on you to take care of that matter we discussed earlier. Okay. And now you have met our employer. What's Sieg doing here? Who are these guests he mentioned? Good question. We'll be paying them a visit shortly as well. At peril of sounding like a broken record, do try to contain your surprise. I mean, I guess I could try. Well, well. I'm surprised to see a thug like you here, seeing how the only thing you're good for is guzzling cheap booze. It breaks my heart to see Lord Sieg disgrace himself with this poor choice of company. Ha! I'm sorry. Did you say something, old-timer? I could barely hear you over the sound of your bones creaking. If there's anyone who doesn't deserve to be at this mansion, it's a worthless fossil who can't even set foot on a damn boat. Whoa, whoa, easy there, fellas. Sieg invited us all here, remember? So who cares about disgrace or worth? The important thing is, we all have the same qualifications to be here. Besides, none of us is ready now. Hell, they haven't even gotten here yet, right? And here comes the hyena. Oh, hyena, huh? I like that. They're the ones who always come out on top, seeing how they thrive off of dead meat. Tch. Well, no matter. We still have some time until the auction. If I were you, Yang Jing and Izo, I'd think long and hard about what I want to do with my life between now and the auction starting. Right on, thanks for the tip. Funny, I was about to tell you the same thing. But then again, I guess there isn't much point in you thinking about what you want to do with your life. At your age, all you've got left is to do is pick out a burial point. Plot. I can't read. Tension is high over here. So Dianmu, Yang and Izo are all here too. Wait a minute, is this what I think it is? Very astute, Cell. Yes, I believe it's exactly as you suspect. Perhaps you remember what happened during a similar incident not so long ago. A mystery of sorts at Kogetsukan. I called it! I knew it! This is his freaking version! Were you so jealous that that freaking Sherlock Holmes got to shine? And you didn't get to really do much of anything? Except plot with Mosh? And he got to be the shining star in that event? That you needed to have your own event? To feel you didn't lose to him? Back then, I believe your brain substituted figures you were familiar with for those whom you had never met. So as to avoid overwhelming it with new visual information. This time, the new figures may share their names with the ones you know, but in all other respects, it is the same phenomenon at work. God damn it, no! No! I mixed up freaking Steno and Mamoraiko because I kept calling Mamoraiko Mamoraiko. So I figured that she was the mother, instead of the one that looks like the sister. Oh, that still irks me. What do they look like to you then, Moriarty? Ah yes, unfortunately, they appear to be the same servants to me as well. But there are some extenuating circumstances that give me a bit more insight to their true identities. Simply put, these three are gentlemen or gang leaders. Diarmuid may not look the part, but I can trust you can sort of see it what the other two know. Well, yeah, pretty much. As for Diarmuid, I imagine he was chosen because his looks and attributes are similar to those of the man he's standing in for. After all, his dapper looks have apparently made him quite the talk of the town as of late. And they don't get along very well, do they? Indeed not. Yeah, there's gonna be multiple more murders. Diarmuid's group has been based in this area for many years now, a gang with a long tradition. They have their hands in every single one of the city's dark dealings and secrets, but they're also considered a pillar of the community. Then, about 20 years ago, Yang Jing's gang came along and put paid to that peaceful state of affairs. As soon as they came into the city, they were very aggressive about taking on whatever dirty work they could find, including the type of jobs that Diarmuid's gang had long refused to even touch. Naturally, this led to tough war after tough war, with both sides gunning for each other around the city. That state of affairs had continued for several years until about 3 years ago, when both sides decided to put an end to these killings and came to terms. That was when Izo's gang of longshore workers came along and complicated things further. Now all three of these gangs are in a stalemate, ever at odds with one another. Oh, you seem puzzled by something. Well, I suppose I can't blame you. Why couldn't two of the gangs just team up? How come the weakest gang didn't get wiped out? Unfortunately, that's easier said than done. You see, each of the three gangs has something unique holding them back. Diarmuid's group has numbers on their side, and they're also the ones most entrenched in the city. But in this case, that strength is also a weakness. As long as he remains here, Diarmuid needs to keep up his image of some chivalrous man about town. That makes his group old instead, unable to make the bold moves necessary to remove the others. But our Jiangxing's group is the newcomer that arrived in the city long after the status quo had been established. The people in the city are highly unlikely to ever just hit them. But in turn, that gives them the freedom to do whatever they want. As this city was never theirs, they feel no obligation to restrain themselves on its behalf. And finally, we have Izo's gang. They have the fewest numbers, but they also control the docks. And since the city's industry depends on those docks, the other gangs can't do much to hurt them. Do you follow me so far? I think so. This is getting a lot more complicated. Very well. Let's see if we can make it simpler. Diarmuid controls the biggest gang, and Jing the medium-sized one. And Izo the smallest. That is the key takeaway. Does that help make it clear? Now then, I think we had best adjourn the lecture now in favor of doing our job for a bit. What is our job exactly? On another note, we've got wyverns. Where'd that come from? Moriarty? That was the second most popular line in the things I've always wanted to say portion of the Savin census. Da Vinci put it together herself. In a strange twist of fate, it seems there are wyverns running or rather flying around in this time period. The little devils apparently like to sneak into this mansion, so Sig has entrusted us with keeping them out. That is really strange, you know. Well, I do have an inkling or two as to how this state of affairs came to be, but for the moment, I think we had best focus on the wyverns at hand. Alright, Master, I'm counting on you for backup. These don't look like wyverns to me. But hey, I mean, 3 enemies? An AoE Noble Phantasm? It's gonna be over easily. I will say though that in terms of recording FGO, I am way out of practice. Oh my god. It's been a while since I've had to, you know, do cringy voices for so many characters at once. Oh boy. Alright, I'm going to Kigoshi. And goodbye, we win. Chi? A G. Now, how long is this event actually gonna be? Because it only lasts 7 days. I'm assuming that the final mission is like maybe on day 5 or day 6. Or who knows, maybe the final story is actually on the final day itself. That'd be kind of interesting. So why we actually get items, I'm not sure. Is there actually a store? In which case, what the heck do we buy with them? How were those wyverns? Indeed, it seems matters are even stranger than I expected. Regardless, it does seem the part about them invading this mansion was true. And it would certainly make things worse to have demonic beasts causing trouble now, while the gangs are already at odds with one another. Good grief, all this and it still hasn't even begun. The murder show. You know, so that he gets to play detective and try to outsmart everyone? And try to one-up his rival? The answer to that, we'll have to wait. Why, you ask? Hold on, let me just put on my disguise here. If he doesn't to be next time, I'll end the episode. Oh, please, for the love of God, tell me that he did not just put on a Holmes disguise. This is a James Moriarty event, right? Or was that actually Holmes the entire time and we're trying to track down Moriarty? Oh, this is another mind F right from the get-go. Because the time is not yet right. End of story. Was the disguise really necessary? Seems like an awful lot of trouble for so little payoff. I'd say it was well worth it just to see you roll your eyes like that, master. Exactly, because I don't need another Sherlock Holmes type of crap, man. I sucked at it last time only because of one freaking issue. I didn't fully pay attention to the "my sister doesn't necessarily look like me," and, wouldn't you know it, my mother was actually the one who looked most like my sister. God damn it. I mean, it makes true the daughter looks most like the mother. And yeah. Oh boy. Incidentally, that line took third place in the aforementioned 7 census, which, once again, was put together by Da Vinci herself. Boy, that really grinds my gears. Yeah, I bet it does. Oh, I have a headache. Quick code opener, huh? No battles, huh? Cocktail tasting, huh? Oh boy, oh boy. Section 2. Triangle Guy. What are these voices gonna kill me? Oi, give me more booze. Me too, come on, hurry it up. But be right with you. Tch, I see you lots are just as disgraceful as ever. Oi, what'd you just say? Keep your goddamn mouth shut if you want to know what's good for your grams. Alright, gentlemen, that is quite enough of that. Let me remind you that it is my employer you would be inconveniencing if you fought here. And that would be certainly not be to any of your advantages. At least in my humble opinion. Fine, whatever. You've got a lot of nerve talking to me like that, bartender. Haha, just goes to show how nobody respects you lot. It's wonderful to see you all enjoy yourselves. But I must warn you, even I cannot guarantee a happy result should you engage in fisticuffs here. Oh, alcohol really is dangerous stuff, isn't it? Perhaps we should simply close the bar down, or at least ban them from the premises. Good thinking. In fact, I was just about to ask you to do that myself. Even guys like that should be able to control themselves as long as they stay away from alcohol. So from now on, I'd like you to limit the bar to myself to different organization leaders. And the men who will be showing up soon. You got it, boss. Understood. Good. I'll leave this in your capable hands then. So this is really happening tomorrow. I take it you are reluctant to part with it. Of course I am. That relic has been passed down within my family in secret for 1,000 years. I never dreamed that I would ever let it go. But now that it's come out that it is in my possession, it could put the whole city at risk. So before word spreads too far, I plan to sell it to the highest bidder. And invest the money in helping the city prosper. That's quite magnanimous of you, sir. I promise you my cohort and I will do everything in our power to help you see this through. Thank you. I feel better knowing you're here. Alright, see you later. Oh, that was quite a little ordeal. Is something wrong, Master? What was that about, a relic? All will be clear tomorrow. You'll see. Now, let's say we pick up our lecture from where we left off yesterday. I trust you recall the three organizations' different characteristics now. All three are different sizes, all three are in very different positions. Quite right. Now then, let's assume each group pursues the best course of action for them to seize the control of the city. Group A, Diarmuid would ideally like to team up with Izo to take out Young Jing. Once that's done, he could take his time to folding Izo's small organization to his own. But that would not be to Izo's interests. While he may be able to get rid of Young Jing that way, it would leave him helpless against Diarmuid. And that, of course, would all be but to show his defeat. As such, Izo can never team up with Diarmuid. So that he might think Izo could just team up with Young Jing to take out Diarmuid, but there too he would be wrong. After all, they too are now an inextricable part of the city. Then what if Group A, Diarmuid, teams up with Group B, Young Jing, to take out Group C, Izo, first? Yes, such a team up would let them take out Izo easily, but also lead it to its own rather messy set of problems. Without enough people working the docks, the city's economy would all but grind to a halt. More than that, neither group truly needs to team up with the other to take down Izo. Both A and B would merely hope that their partner ends up bearing the lion's share of their losses in the battle to destroy C. In summary, there is no viable path forward for any group. Forming an alliance goes on the attack. Neither of these are feasible options. It is quite a stalemate. That it is. And now, something new is being added to the mix. I trust I don't need to explain what the Holy Grail War is to you, do I, Master? No, you don't. Oh, it's almost time. Tomorrow, there's going to be a battle for control of this case. That's just the way it is. This is to help build a better future. I have to accept that there are going to be sacrifices. It won't be easy, but at this point I see no alternative. We just aren't strong enough to keep this relic safe on our own anymore. Just keep cool for now. It all comes down to what happens next. We're the ones who will be taking control of the city. We're not going to let these damned outsiders have so much as a scrap. As soon as the ritual is over, we're going to kill every last one of them. Oh boy. I can hear that stuck-up man yapping away. So much for that chivalrous routine he likes to put on. If he's gonna shake his cane at us for being outsiders, after we've been here 20 years, we'll just spend 200 years working our way in until we're a goddamn institution. This city wants us to take it over. It's practically begging for us to liven the place up. It all comes down to tomorrow. If the others think they can mess with us, they've got another thing coming. Uh-huh. We live by the sea, and we'll die by the sea. Long as we've got this town by its lifeline, it doesn't matter how few of us there are, we're the strongest of them all. And once this battle is over, we'll be the biggest too. If the losers refuse to get down on their knees and beg for mercy, we'll just kill every last one of them. Dun dun dun. Did she say Holy Grail War? Yes, but this will be something of a miniature version. A kind known as a subspecies Holy Grail War. 3 mages are scheduled to arrive here tomorrow. They will begin by making bids for the relic in question. And it holds considerable power, you see. So of course, the mages taking part of this in this Holy Grail War all wish to secure it for themselves. But the real problem is that each of the three warring gangs has backed a different mage. In other words, whoever wins this subspecies Holy Grail war will also win control of the city. This is awful. I saw that freaking smirk. Ah yes, indeed it is. Suffice to say, our role here is to keep them all in check so as to not minimize damage to the city. Or so I gather. Okay, but how do we go about doing that? Good question. We can't count on backup from Chaldea, and you and I have unlimited options at best. But I can tell from the expression on your face that we must find a way, no matter what. Uh-huh. Very well, but there is little we can do now. At this point, it all comes down to tomorrow. So tomorrow, let's begin by seeing what course of action each group chooses to pursue. Will do. Morning. Good morning, Master. Tell me, have you ever considered running a bar or a cafe once you've retired from mastering? I bet you would enjoy it quite a bit if you partnered up with the young Miss Kiriraito. Running a bar with Marsh. Running a cafe with Marsh. Welcome to Cafe Chaldea. I'm Marsh Kiriraito. Your server for today. Please sit back and relax. I don't know if I ever mentioned it, but I've always been saying Marsh Kiriraito. Marsh Kiriraito. I've always just said that. But apparently from watching, Babylonia's anime, it was Marsh Kiriraito. So I've been saying her name wrong the entire time for over 3 years? That hurts, somewhat. Okay, so yeah. Please sit back and relax. Alright, I almost forgot. Welcome back, Senpai. Oh, hey, there's a little heart, alright. I like that. What am I thinking? Marsh would never say that. I like that. Alright, I think that's enough daydreaming. Get to what seem the mages have arrived. Damn it. I'm surprised to see all three of them here so early. Perhaps they just couldn't wait any longer. Me and Marsh. Are you still wool gathering? Come on, snap out of it. Damn it, Moriarty. Let me keep to just having my dreams about me and Marsh running the cafe. Good day, everyone. Welcome to my home. Nice location. I'd love to requisition this place, land and all. I see. You like to waste your time dwelling on trivialities even when you're about to do battle. Go ahead and think about whatever you like. In the end, such thoughts are mere delusions. In a few days, you can waste your time grieving for the treasure you failed to claim. Oh boy. Another 3. And here, I thought we would be seeing guests to show up to represent these mages. I suppose we can take this as a sign that each of these mages is really quite battle-hungry. Yep, I guess. Allow me to welcome you all once again. I am honored to have you here in my home. But then, I guess there's no need to stand on the ceremony, is there? You're all here for something I own. I'm aware of that. You also know that multiple sources are 90% sure that it's the genuine article. I expect then that you are all here to verify that last 10% in person. Yeah, pretty much. None of us would be amused if we came all this way only to have it turn out to be counterfeit. Agreed. I don't wish to sound demanding, but I would indeed like to see it for myself. Naturally, I wouldn't dream of trying to kill the others at this time. And neither would you, Count Vlad, correct? Of course not.
No true mage would be so foolish as to throw away their honor here. That would be an act of beast, not men. I would never do anything to disturb this peace while the item's owners shows such hospitality.
Anyone want to take a bet that Moriarty is the one who ends up snatching it and swapping it out for its fake counterpart, which then gets everyone to fight each other? No? I don't know, man. I rarely see Moriarty doing something like that, especially with that evil smirk he had a little bit ago. Thank you. All right then. You may go and see it for yourselves. This is the relic that has been passed down in my family for generations. It's a leaf. The linden leaf that stuck to the back of a heroic dragon slayer. It's real. This is definitely the genuine article. I may not have been a mage for very long, but I can still recognize the real thing when I see it. Indeed, I can tell it is indeed what our host claims with merely a single look at its magnificence. It's just a leaf that has blood on it, as far as I can tell. Now, I have no doubt that with this in hand, I would win this subspecies Holy Grail war.
Indeed, I see. So, this relic can serve as a catalyst with which to summon a powerful servant.
I get it. It's for summoning a servant. That's why the leaf with blood on it is a catalyst item.
Given that most such artifacts, such as the snake skin to summon the King of Heroes, and Gorgon Knot to summon the King of Conquerors, have fallen into the Association's hands. This could well be the last of its kind in the entire world. For a relic like this, I would gladly take part in a Holy Grail war.
I'm glad to see you all understand. I must ask you all to pay richly for a chance to own this relic. But I think you will agree that it is well worth it. As I'm sure you all know, this leaf is a powerful catalyst that can be used to summon the greatest hero Siegfried. Using this catalyst, your chances of summoning anyone else are negligible. Well, I mean, is summoning, Sumanai all that it's cracked up to be? I don't know, man. Every time I've seen other people summon Sumanai, they're not really happy, especially when he gets spoofed with him. It cannot be divided among you. However, as its effectiveness as a catalyst would be greatly compromised by the damage such division would cause. So only one of you may claim this relic. But no one need to be hurt to do so. That is certainly not what I want. That is why I will be holding the auction. I have faith that you're all able and willing to pay what this relic is worth. Very nice. Do you understand, Master? All of them care about is getting a jump on the others. Naturally, they're not afraid to get their hands dirty if it means getting an edge. Depending on how things go, there may not even be an auction at all. What should we do? An excellent question. None of these mages nor the gangs backing them can afford to let anyone else have this relic. Only one of us, huh? I'd love to resolve this peacefully if we could. As would I, but that is easier said than done. Isn't that right, Count Vlad?
Izo.
What?
I need your entire fortune. That relic there is worth every penny of it.
Are you nuts? You want my entire fortune? Just to buy a damn leaf?
Silence. I don't mind letting you pretend to run a show in public. But if I fail to acquire that leaf, you will spend the rest of your life paying me back.
Gah. Looks like I've got a real shot at this. So in the end, it all comes down to money. Well, these are small timers. They'll have to scrounge up every penny they can just to have a chance.
Probably a catalyst of this quality would be forever beyond our reach. Only those ranked Pride or higher would even get to see it. But since the only other mages here have loose ties to the Association, that opens up a wealth of options.
I'll be holding the auction tomorrow. The only ones who will be allowed to bid are Alexander, Prince of Ling, and Vlad III. No exceptions. Even if any other mages should catch wind of this auction and enter a bid higher than one of yours, we have no plans to alter the arrangement.
Perfect.
Alright, that's all for today. Please feel free to relax and enjoy yourselves until tomorrow. Of course, you're also free to take this time to put together as much money as you can if you wish. Mr. Moriarty, and so was it. Tomorrow is when your work really begins. I'm counting on you. Understood. Great, okay. See you later. Well, we certainly have our work cut out for us. But for now, why don't we focus on the task at hand?
Komodo Dragon control.
It's supposed to be Wyvern control, but never mind that now.
Alright, here's the final two Komodo Dragons. These are obviously not Wyverns, Moriarty. Totally not. Unless they evolve and get wings, they are not Wyverns. Alright.
I got the Kigoshi.
But yeah, I have a feeling that someone's gonna be taking that leaf before the auction even begins. Or someone could steal it while the auction is in place. And then people are gonna go up in arms about someone stole this, someone stole that. They'll get pissed, they'll come after us, thinking that we also possibly could have stole it. There's a lot of things that could go bad in this auction. Namely, because Moriarty is here and he probably is gonna steal it. I also really want to know what the heck these items are for. Section 3, My Fleeting Fates. Huh. Okay. What's the shop for? So, play defense to collect the items, to get stuff. It costs 200 of these things to be able to get his wardrobe key outfit. Obviously, we don't need any of that. To get the Blaze of Wisdoms, we need these. You can also get the hearts. Anything I don't really have a lot of? No, not really. Okay, so it's Hermit Cocktail Shaker is what we need. Tricky Cloth, and obviously the Silk. What are they called? Tricky Cloth. Old Spider spins webs of memory event. Tricky Cloth. Spiderweb coaster. Oh, they're coasters. Okay. Mysterious glass.
Oh! Summon tickets!
まだ半世紀は現役だがね。さて、何か用かな?
Where'd I get the mysterious glasses? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 summon tickets. Dang!
引退したらこの手の店でも開きたいものだね。あった。まだ半世紀は現役だがね。さて、何か用かな? 引退したらこの
Stop, Moriarty. Where do I get these glasses at?
わかりますか? ぼちぼちですね。という
Oh wait, you're talking about these things. For logging in every day. There we go.
いらっしゃい。
Thank you.
謎は謎を呼び、
And you.
君がこのグラスで一杯飲む前
And
に
you.
ではグラスをいただいて前回
And
の
you.
4つ目のグラス。
And I need 2 more days worth of mysterious glasses to be able to get all of the summon tickets.
死に通じていて
Then I need the last one for the coffin of the fall.
海外であれば13
Whatever these things are called, I already forget. Okay, I think I can go for one more. Section 3, my fleeting fates. I really want to know how long this goes for. I think I looked it up before it came out, and I think it was like 11 sections. So I've got quite a bit of time to go.
They say good wine makes good blood, but it can also be just as good as making bad blood. How many times have we heard of someone committing an egregious breach of etiquette under the influence? I've heard mages have a way of neutralizing alcohol's effects, but I expect it only applies to the dangers of extreme overconsumption. Once they are intoxicated, they are surely just as likely to loosen their lips as anyone else, especially when speaking to ordinary bartenders like us. So why don't we start by bringing Alexander in here and seeing what we can learn from him? Though I would like to ask that you do the talking if you don't mind. I'll stick to the occasional interjection.
I'll give it a shot. Why's that?
Well, my young friend, once you reach a certain age, it becomes extremely difficult not to always appear shady, particularly in younger company.
Uh-huh. You're always shady, though.
Alcohol? I'm not sure I understand. You want me to have a drink now under these circumstances? Well, okay, they have a saying for this in China. You can't catch a tiger cub without going into a tiger's den. In other words, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Those other two have been mages a lot longer than me. So if I want to get ahead, I've just got to leap in without fear. Besides, I'm sure you two have some useful info of your own. Here you go. A sign of magical energy, let alone poison, but I guess that's to be expected. So what do you call this? That is a dry martini, the king of cocktails. Seeing how you have an air of royalty about you, I thought it would be fitting. Huh, never heard of it. That's because it has yet to be invented. Hey, that's pretty good. It's okay for you to drink, right? You're saying I look underage. Don't worry, I'm not. I'm just doing what I can to keep the ravages of time at bay. Though, of course, I don't expect any of the mages would take it easy on me, just because I look like a kid. Do you think that you've got a good shot at the auction? That's what I came here to find out. Can I get another one of these? Use the information I gave you earlier, Master.
Well, Isa's organization is, well, Yang Jing's organization is, he is the, well, obviously Vlad is Izo. I just don't know which one he's a part of. Izo, why not?
Now I see, all three groups are dancing on a razor's edge. Well, damn. Now what do I do? I originally contacted Diarmuid's group because I heard they were the biggest player here. But if they are that closely tied to the city, that's really gonna hold me back. Not to mention that between the three of us mages, my family's got the shortest history. Does that mean you're the weakest? Is there a problem with that? Mages are all about passing down power through generations. My family's only been at it for 300 years. But those two have families that go back 500 and 700 years. That said, my magecraft is pretty well suited to combat, so that it could tip the scales in my favor. Well suited to combat? Yup, you know about centaurs, right? The legendary half-human, half-horse creatures. Yes, sure do. I'm sure they were incredibly fast, but that's not the only reason they were strong. No, they were strong because they focused all of their attention on pinpoint precision with their arrows, even while running at those incredible speeds. Concentration is key, not just in magecraft, but in everything. If people could concentrate like a centaur,
it would improve their abilities tenfold across the board. And if you don't have a lot of magical energy to work with if you focus, you could squeeze every last drop you have right into your magical circuits. You mean like an energy-efficient battery? I don't know what you're talking about, but it sounds impressive. Oh yeah, whoops. Battery? Think of it as a kind of energy engine. So use your body to efficiently that you're able to boost not just combat abilities, but all abilities. Quite a superhuman training regimen. Anyway, you're going to pump out the mages for information too, right? I sure would appreciate it if you let me in on what you learned too. Sure thing. A mage who tries his hardest to compensate for being the weakest. That's an admirable attitude with which to go into battle. But it would seem to make him something of a poor ally for dear Mood. How so? Left to his own devices, Alexander would surely do whatever it takes to win. But dear Mood is more concerned with playing by the rules and winning fairly and honorably. It may not be an issue in the beginning, but by the end, the disparity in their methods could very well spell their doom. Now then, why don't we see what Prince of Ludling has to say? Okay. Alcohol, huh? I see. Nothing to fear. I would have no trouble breaking alcohol down with one hand tied behind my back after all. I'm happy to drink this if it will help me acquire information. Coming right up, sir. Here's your cocktail. This is called a silver bullet. Silver bullet. Indeed, that is what you use when slaying monsters, is it not? It's a good luck charm, is it? Well, I suppose I'll need all the help I can get. Alexander I can handle, but Vlad is a formidable opponent. What if you and Alexander teamed up? That's a good idea. And I'm sure Alexander would also prefer to go up against me rather than Vlad. But I don't think Yan Ying would go for that. Then again, I suppose if I want to know, I'll have to ask. And he does need to understand that Vlad III is our greatest threat. Let's crown Vlad like as a mage. Well, the rumor is that he uses blood as a catalyst for his mage craft. Whether that's true or not, I do not know that. I do know that by both his magical crest and his magical circuits are stellar. His magecraft may not be focused on combat, but I doubt he will have any trouble keeping up. As for Alexander, imitating the centaurs, huh? If that's true, it would seem to have very narrow applications, but I suppose it would also be rather difficult to predict. Thank you for the drink, it was delicious. I think I will go see if Alexander would be amenable to working together. What if my magecraft how silly to think I would tell you that. The very basis of magecraft is secrecy, and is as true today as it was in ancient times. That said, it would not be difficult to figure out if you examined my magical lineage. I hope tomorrow's auction goes smoothly, for all of our sakes. Alright, that just leaves Count Vlad, though who knows if he'll actually come. He might. I have come. You have? How in the world did you convince him? It's simple, bartender. Your pupil there was unfailingly polite when she expressed her wish to entertain me. It was clear that she meant every word, and it intuited no signs of malice whatsoever. And so it is only proper that I accept her invitation, lest it reflect poorly on me as a mage. Now, come and celebrate my victory, bartender. Very well. May I suggest a Bloody Mary? You may. I know nothing of alcohol and its intricacies in any case. I see. So that bastard Prince of Ludling told you about my magecraft, did he? Even if he did avoid going into detail, I can't say I enjoy having someone else share my secrets. Not to mention, it seems a tad unfair that he insists on keeping his own magecraft a secret. So go ahead and tell Alexander this. Prince of Lunling's magecraft is based on beauty. He uses curses to entrance his targets and bring about their downfall. However, while that may work on ordinary men, it will have no effect on me. If anything, it is Alexander who may hope to stand against me. All that remains is to see how much money Izo is able and willing to pony up. But these men are no fools. They are willing to make great sacrifices if it means gaining control of this city. I still don't know much about alcohol, but I do like this brilliant red color. Once I have obtained the catalyst for myself, I think I'll celebrate with another of these Bloody Marys.
Well, he was certainly the most imposing, wasn't he? Though he also seems not so much guarded as oblivious. Yeah, I'll go with oblivious. Alright, now that we've got more information to work with, let's see if we can't make some sense of it. First of all, while these mages share name, body, and personality with the servants they appear to be, they are not actually those servants. I trust you already understand that. Well, yeah, after what happened last time, yeah, sure. The Vlad Third we spoke to may sound like the same one we know. But in reality, he may speak completely different, even boyishly. For that matter, Prince of Lunling may not even be from China. But we perceive them as the servants we know, and thus their words in a way matching that perception. The same thing happens whenever we speak to them. Before our words can reach their brains, they are processing to fall in line with their perceptions. That is why we can address an ordinary mage as Vlad III without causing any problems. This is getting confusing. I don't know how I'm gonna keep all this all straight. If you think that's confusing, wait till you hear this next part. Oh god. Since each of the three gangs are working with one of the mages, you might think there are only 3 factions at play here. But in actuality, there are 6. Each faction is trying to obtain power and treasure to realize their own ambitions. Meanwhile, the mages are also trying to gain the power as well. And we are gonna swoop in at the end and take it all for ourselves. We're gonna make sure none of them succeed. My, you are just a cunning devil after my own heart, master. But no. As for our exact plan of action, I think that can wait until tomorrow. If we've read the situation correctly, something will happen at the auction. For the time being, we had best take the opportunity to rest while we can prepare for tomorrow. Well, good night. Good night. Something gonna happen? I can't sleep. I miss Mashu. Mashu Kyrie Raito. Daisuke. Oh, up already. It's not even daybreak yet. I just couldn't seem to fall asleep. I see. In that case, perhaps it would help if I told you a story from my own admittedly checkered past. I'd love to hear any story you're willing to tell. This feels a little weird, but sure. Heh. In truth, much of my life is actually quite dull. What's that? Is it because I'm a fictional character? I'm not so sure. Am I a fictional character? Or did James Moriarty truly exist at some point? Did the events that make up my past truly happen? At this point, that is really not so important a distinction as you might think. All that really matters is that I'm here now. My childhood memories are all rather hazy. There's only one thing that I remember from them: equations. I remember their cleanliness, the beauty inherent in their structure, how gentle they could be, and how terrifying. It is thanks to equations that one can determine precisely where a ball will land once thrown. I think back when I was just a boy,
I would often ponder why no one else seemed to realize her appeal. Once I had reached what most would consider an adult age, I wrote a book, The Dynamics of an Asteroid. But it never saw the light of day, thanks to the mathematicians who saw it buried before it took off. But honestly, I can't say I was surprised. I knew all too well how petty and guarded people could be. All the more so once they realized the terrifying implications of my book. Still, despite my lack of surprise, I was at a loss as to how to respond. How then was I to verify the equation therein? I remember cocking my head and thinking to myself, now what am I going to do? I didn't want to go my whole life without ever knowing if that equation was correct or not. This may make me sound like a petulant child, but I simply did not like that idea, not one bit. I was sure I could prove my equation was correct. I had to prove it was correct. So I decided to turn evil. Why? I suppose I cannot possibly expect you to understand that part, no. I wanted to prove beyond all doubt how beautiful and terrifying my equation was. So I swore I would do whatever I must to make that happen, and eliminate anyone who stood in my way. From there, I devoted myself solely to calculating one thing. How could I go about proving this equation to the world at large? And the conclusion I reached was that I must turn evil. As an evil man, I would use this equation to wreak destruction upon the world. My next step was to form an organization. I mixed intricate schemes into evil that typically tended towards straightforward simplicity. I provided wisdom and intelligence to evil that typically resorted to brute strength and violence. I piled up evil deeds upon evil deeds until one day, that accursed detective brought me to justice. What did you expect? A fair point. From my perspective, I thought I was just advising everyone to take notice of me. But once they started calling me genius, scum, morally bankrupt, monster, and the Napoleon of crime, well, I suppose I let all that go to my head. But regardless, Sal, even with all of that said, I don't regret my decision to turn to a life of evil. There is one, no, two reasons for that. I enjoyed myself immensely, yes. I admit it, I truly am morally bankrupt. But in spite of that, or perhaps because of it, I can say without a doubt that few have enjoyed their lives so thoroughly as I enjoyed mine. It was grand fun to see people playing into my hands, and even more fun to see them falling into my traps. Watching them stumble off of a cliff, or trip on a pebble, or have a vase come crashing down on them, were some of the greatest moments of hilarity I ever witnessed. Talk about chaotic evil. That doesn't sound fun to me at all. Indeed. Of course, it isn't as though I was riding high for the rest of my life. I met my end tumbling down the Reichenbach Falls. It was a miserable end, but probably befitting a criminal like myself. But to make matters worse, the man I tried to drag down with me ended up surviving. I remember how ashy gray the sky that was that day, at a time that was neither morning nor evening, how the icy cold water seemed to scream like machine gun fire. It's quite strange, really. Why in the world did I challenge him to a fist fight? If I am merely fictional, then I'm sure I did so purely to satisfy the demands of the plot. But if I did actually exist, then I think I understand. I must have wanted to show him what a villain like me is truly made of. Alright, back to bed with you. Shelley must be bored enough now to drift right off. Wait, what about the other reason? What's the second reason you don't regret your choice? Oh, come now. Do I really have to spell it out? Because if it wasn't for my life of crime, I would never have gotten to meet you.
Haha, now, don't be bashful. Even aged gentlemen like me are at times prone to sentiment. Alright, that's quite enough. On to bed with you. Good night.
Uh-huh. Good night. Hey, all I have to say is at least he's not calling us Papa. At least he's not having us call him Papa, alright? That's all I gotta say is at least he's not trying to get us to call him Papa. So either way, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next one. We'll be doing section 4, Triangle... Wow, Triangle? Okay, yeah, no, I can't read anymore. Apparently, Triangle Magus. And continuing on to possibly section 5, maybe section 6 as well. Depends on how long my voice can last, for 1. And 2, how long the story actually is. Because I believe it goes up to 11, and I'm gonna go look that up right now. I could be confusing it with the event that comes after this one, in terms of how long it is. Oh dang. Haha! This literally only goes up to 5 and then an epilogue. Okay. So yeah, technically speaking, if we do the rest of the story in the next episode, I actually managed to get 2 episodes out of this. Not bad. But yeah, there's an epilogue, so 4, 5, 6 is the epilogue. Alright, yeah. It's actually not that long. I figured as much. So I might be back here either tomorrow or the day after. So yeah, till then, see you guys later.